Where's the titles? Too many shows.
You're going to edit out all those kisses.
Oh, you never know. Hello to all the cinephiles out there. We are back. It's a science seating. It's been a little while since we've purchased a ticket and sat down in the UCR cinema, but Vera and I felt a little bit, I don't know, nostalgic for older times, and we thought we'd sit down and have a little chat. For those of you that haven't checked out Assigned Seating before, this is our movie review show where we check out cinema masterpieces or cult classics, everything in between. Anything in between, you know? Any movies that float our boat.
The heading of horror.
Yeah. Vera can't do horror. This is as close to as horror. Actually, no. We'll get Vera closer to horror one day. There's some movies we've got to watch, but
the closest I could get was True Blood.
There you go. There's other reasons to watch True Blood, right? All right. So with this show, we sit down and discuss, a movie. We usually have an expert and a first timer. So today, I guess I'm playing the role of expert, and Vera is our first timer. We are going back. We're going back in our way back machine. It doesn't feel like that long ago, but it is. And we are jumping
like a long time ago when you look at those costumes.
When you look at the fashion and everything, you go, okay, things have dated a little bit. That's okay. But we are hopping back to the 90s, the very, very beginning of the 90s, ladies and gentlemen. Today, we are discussing, I don't know whether it's a cult classic or I just love it, but who cares? Either way, we're talking about 1991's Soapdish. Now, I thought if one person would have seen this movie on Uncensored, anyone on our network, it would have been Jeffrey Emmett, given his love of soap operas as a child and all things 90s, really. Jeffrey has not seen Soapdish. I am so mortified. I'm so surprised. I'm like, wait, what? I thought this is his bag. This is his moment. But for those of you that haven't seen, I know, right? For those of you that haven't seen Soapdish, we'll give you a quick little synopsis. Soapdish centers around.
A little synopsis of Soapdish.
I'm going to kind of try. It centers around the set of a fictional soap opera in prime soap opera time, the 90s. The sun also sets. which actually sounds like a legitimate, legitimate soap opera. They've done their time. So it's a bit of a backstage drama, like the olden day talkies of backstage film movies. All about its mature at 40 star Celeste Talbot, the one and only Miss Sally Field, and when she finds life imitating life a bit too closely as the whole thing unravels. Now, the first thing that I thought when I saw this movie again, holy crap, what a cast.
I know, and that's not even all of them.
No, let's go through it. Yeah, let's go through it. So we have Sally Field, we have Kevin Kline, we have Robert Downey Jr., Elizabeth Shue, Whoopi Goldberg, Kathy Moriarty, Terry Hatcher, Gary Marshall, Kathy Najimy, and Carrie Fisher, all in this cast of this little 90s movie. And every time you go, oh, that's right, you're in this. Oh, that's right, you're in this.
I don't think it was a small budget movie. I think it was a little.
No, it was a big budget movie, but it's not like a blockbuster. It's a bit of a cult classic.
It's a cult classic.
Well, 31 million. We went to on a box office of on a budget of 25 million. It made 31.2. So not a huge success, but it did okay. But for anyone that was alive in the 90s, in the early 90s, and watching daytime TV, this movie, I think, I love a good satire, and this movie just dives straight in. Well, this is your first time seeing it. What did you think when I said, "Hey Vera, watch this movie"?
My first thought was like, "Oh, is that a good movie?" I remember it tanking at the time, but I'll watch it, you know. And I said to my sister, I said, "I'm going to watch Soapdish. We're going to do an assigned seating." She's like, "That's a bad movie, isn't it?" And I said, "Well, I don't know. We'll find out."
We'll find out.
And when I was about to start it, I was texting my friend Peter, and he said, "Oh my God, Soapdish is one of my all-time favorites." And I said, "Oh, I'm watching it for the first time." He's like, "How?"
Right? I mean, there's a certain demographic of people that will identify and know as soon as this movie starts exactly what it's gonna be, because it starts at the daytime TV awards with like a very famous actor from that time, minus his patch. My grandmother, I've said on various uncensored shows before, was a cleaner, but her favorite show in the world was Days of Our Lives. Days of Our Lives. She watched Days of Our Lives and from the beginning. From the very, very beginning, would not miss an episode, used to tape it every day because in case she was working, and then come back and watch it at like early hours of the morning because that's when she'd be awake. So you'd wake up at grandma's house and you'd hear the sands through the hourglass, and I became very well acquainted with, you know, Patch and Kayla and Roman and Marlena and John Black and Stefano Demira and all that good stuff. She liked Young and the Restless, but not as much. She was a Days of Our, used to buy the TV soap magazine so she could read all the articles about heavily Days of Our Lives. So this really sits in a nice, happy little memory bubble for me. And I can't remember how I saw it the first time. I just know that it was a movie that was on rotation. Like, we would get it from the video store fairly regularly. I think it's the Whoopi Goldberg thing. We had a bit of a thing for Whoopi Goldberg in our house, but I have seen it multiple times. And so quotable, so many quotes.
Yeah,
I think
good. It was really good. I enjoyed everything about it.
You've got to really give it. I don't know who else they would have gotten to play the part except Sally Field of Celeste. She, this is a big scenery chewer for her. She just comes anytime she's on screen. She's like, what? There is no subtle for someone who is a renowned actress, and I guess is more known generally for drama. I know she does comedy and she's done comedy, but I think she's more well known for Steel Magnolias and all that kind of stuff, and those big meaty parts. But oh my God, she chews scenery in this. She's got no.
She is. Oh my God. One of
Betty Davis, step aside.
Favorite moments is when they pull her off of Kevin Kline's back, and she's still in the shape
in the attack position.
Back, you know.
But even at the very beginning, when she's doing there's the monologue scene, and she's like, "I'm guilty of love in the first degree." And the stare afterward, it is so golden. She is David. Dad. I love. She's just that manic breakdown that she has, and you do see shades of it in Mrs. Doubtfire again.
Yeah,
Mrs. Doubtfire, comedy wise, you see it the whole time. She likes that repeating phrases, but yeah, she she goes for gold, and I've got to say, this is one of my favorite Sally Field performances. She was doing some real different. She was going for gold in the 90s, like she did.
Physical comedy was great,
Right? Yeah, she literally threw herself in there. So when Celeste, of course, is an award, we have to. She's based on Susan Lucci, right? She has to be the Susan Lucci.
Absolutely.
Except she wins the award.
That was my grandmother's soap. My grandmother was
really?
all like children that we all the whole family, like my Uncle John would watch it because my grandmother watched it. You know, the grandkids watched it. You know, my Uncle Paul watched it because Grandma watched it. Stories on. That was the story.
I love it. Yeah, watch the stories. You got to talk about it. You got to talk about it.
Yeah.
Celeste is the, I guess, the star, for want of a better word, of the show. And she is at the award ceremony and once again wins her Best Actress award, and goes home to find her life starting to fall apart when her live-in lover, who happens to be a married goes back to his wife and kids. I've left you the plants, darling. Care for them like you did me. Cut to the next scene, and she's wandering around with a bottle of Clorox and a bottle of vodka. That is some strong shit. Do you see those plants smoking? It's she's burning that shit down. Sally's like, no, I will not have it. She will not have it. It was great. But I think that it's so important. There's some huge performances from some of the characters in this movie, but there's some nice little subdued ones as well that keep us nice and grounded. And Whoopi Goldberg is not usually the subdued one.
Yeah.
But she, as Rose, she just really sits there and it's kind of like Celeste's guiding light. She is her head writer, has written for the woman the entire time she's been on the show, apparently. And is, I guess, her enabler / support system. It's a little bit
right. Slash therapist.
Slash therapist. But I love Whoopi in this. She's
and you know,
the best.
You've watched Whoopi your whole life. You don't remember her being that young.
Yeah, she looks great. She's funny, and you're like, yeah. Mm-hmm. But while all this is happening, there's a dastardly plan to overthrow poor Celeste by mysterious new actress Montana Moorhead, Kathy Moriarty. Far out, man. She's a funny bitch in this movie. I'm like, but we're not going to bury the lead. Let's talk about how good looking was young Robert Downey Jr.
Oh, I know. I remember.
What was that? I was like, wait, what? I forgot all about you. He was a good looking young guy.
He was. He's a hot looking old man too.
I know. And you forget because you are so conditioned to see him as Iron Man these days.
Well, it's the same thing with Whoopi. You're used to seeing Whoopi with the cane on The View.
Yeah.
And suddenly it's like, oh, yeah.
Comedy chops for days. The stuff between him and Kathy Moriarty is so funny. So inappropriate. You're just like, these two, she wants to be the star. He is the director / producer, and he's trying to get her in. And then poor Terry Hatcher's just in the background, but she was great. As that vapid airhead soap actress character, she only had small parts, but Terry was amazing. And she would look like she was a baby in this, but it wasn't that.
They all look like babies, you know.
I know.
Even Sally Field, the old woman, looks like a baby.
Well, she was old at 42, remember?
Right.
She was 42 years old. She was the aging star. It's like, oh, no. But, Celeste is dealing with a lot. And we also find that one of her ex-co-stars is... I feel so sorry for this guy. Kevin Kline. And Kevin Kline is eating scenery in this movie as well. He's just chewing it, chewing it, and spitting it out. But he's relegated to
Dinner theater.
Dinner theater. Dinner theater
In Florida.
In Florida. Oh my god, I can't. It just cracks me up. And just watching him watch her, and like that seething anger on the TV, and death of a salesman in dinner theater.
10 minutes, Mr. Loman. It's Mr. Anderson.
Anderson! Don't call me Mr. Loman. It's like, oh, it's too real for the poor guy, and his William Shakespeare bust sitting there.
Yes.
He wanted to be. He considers himself a serious actor, obviously. So we are watching Celeste's up and down. It's pretty manic. I love it. I love watching this go as we find the ins and outs of a TV soap. Now, I love again tiny part, but so good. My name's Laurie Craven, and I'm an actress. My name's Betsy Faye Sharon, and I'm a bitch. Carrie Fisher. Is all I'm saying. Carrie Fisher as Betsy Faye Sharon.
I was
the
so
casting
shocked
couch.
to see her, and so shocked to see how small that part was. Because, Star Wars was already out at that point.
Well, this is the 90s. Star Wars has been out for a long time. She was I guess she was on one of these ones with her career, and she was, but the casting couch was alive and well in Betsy's office. I love how 90s futuristic the set is as well, like that Art Deco look, but it's kind of like it's got automatic blinds that are like metallic that swing. I'm like, this is amazing. It looks so, and just everything about this movie is dramatic. Like even the scenery, like they look like CDs. Those blinds,
everything
they are so
dramatic,
reflective.
except Kathy Najimy.
I love it. I love it.
Or we could try this. Or we could try that.
Tell her I don't feel quite rightly determined. I look like Gloria fucking Swanson. I love it. You're fired. Oh God. No, I'm joking. Like it's so quick.
It is.
Like the jokes are so quick that if you're not actually paying attention, you miss out. You're like, oh my God. But so quotable as well. I don't mean dead in a sense. I mean actually dead. It's like, determined. She loves determined. And yeah, Kathy Najimy, tiny role, but still hilarious.
Yeah.
But this is before Sister Act. She was just pretty much a working actress who got lucky with all of these people. So the tanking ratings of The Sun Also Sets are exposed. And, very hilarious boardroom scene. I love it. Ariel should be raped by Father Corey. It's like, it's not okay. I think she should be abducted by some colored guys. It's like, you're like, oh, Whoopi's like gonna stab people. It's just like, I guess it's kind of like, this is like proto The Office, really, isn't it? Like, we're not looking, it's not documentary, but it's enough of a satirical look inside a workplace for you to go, oh, okay, cool. Even this whole boardroom thing is sheer genius. And the fact that this is produced by Aaron Spelling.
Right. The king of
smacks You're like, oh, this is probably a bit more real than anyone knows. Like the drama behind the scene. But it is decided, as always, when the ratings fall down, something big has to happen.
Right.
Someone has to die. And that someone we decide is a homeless girl who fought her way into the casting office by the name of Laurie Craven, Elizabeth Shue.
Yeah.
Elizabeth Shue. Like, wait, oh, that is Elizabeth Shue. I was like, damn, like we were having some celebrities in this movie.
Yeah.
But Elizabeth Shue is Lauren Craven and cast as a homeless person that goes to a soup kitchen in the Caribbean. I don't know why. I don't know why. But that's what soap operas do. So it's decided that Celeste will kill the homeless in order to
right.
bring her character, bring her character's likability down. This is Montana's evil plan to really humble her, to ruin her stuff. I'm 30, David. I need this to happen now. It's like, I feel you, Montana. I feel you. It's okay, girl. And she gets her plan underway. Betsy is called for a homeless because the homeless look too homeless.
Right.
I need to be homeless. Betsy! So all fate leads Lauren Craven to set.
That little exchange though was priceless. He's too homeless. Where did you find him? Well, we found him out in the street. He was homeless.
On the street. Exactly. It's a great patter, great banter. So Laura, I love the knife. The knife that she attacks Celeste is a whole machete. She goes, "It's big. It looks smaller on camera." So okay. we watch the scene play out as Laurie attacks Celeste, only for them to embrace.
Yeah.
Curious / question mark. Oh, it turns out that Laurie Craven happens to be Celeste Talbot's niece, who wants to act. Don't ever say that. I want to act. Don't ever say that. Don't ever say that. I want to act. But she's decided she's moving to the city to become an actress. And all is well to begin with. Laurie kind of becomes, a bit of a set piece that sticks around for someone who is an extra.
An instant overnight success.
An overnight success, Exactly. And she catches the eye of one former co-star when he is brought back. Jeffrey Anderson, Kevin Kline, is hunted down when it's decided that Laurie isn't enough. We really want to drive Celeste crazy, so we're bringing back her ex-love interest from the.
Right.
I would guess it would be the 70s during that show. I get like the timing of the show. So right. Jeffrey Anderson is plucked from obscurity in Florida and returns to the life of a soap actor, and their scenes together are fantastic. Kevin Kline and Sally Field are just one-upping each other hardcore. Yeah. Even when that first make-out scene where she's like, and then she's on him, like, and then she knees him in the balls. It's great. And again, she faints, and everyone just looks at her falling to the ground. It's like, oh. And he knows her dirty little secret.
Yeah.
He knows her dirty little secret about her trip.
The whole of the
no, I'm talking about the trips across the Brooklyn Bridge. I love that scene. While Sally Field's character is spiraling out of control, Whoopi says, "I think it's time to take a trip across the Brooklyn Bridge." No, I can't do it. It's a crutch. One more time. Okay, one more time. Where she stages a recognition in the middle of the mall. So every, I guess, housewife, we're going like, hardcore.
Right.
Hardcore satire. Every housewife watches this show. So Sally gets her ego fed moment, and she's ready to go back to the show to deal with attacks from all sides, because not only is her niece there and starting to become a bit of a star of the show, Jeffrey catches her eye, and he catches hers, and they, start a little bit of a tryst, I guess we would call. It's not really a relationship. They go on a couple of dates, but it's very flirty, and he tries all of his magic that has obviously worked for him in the past, because it's repeat performances. Even that actress that he does that to in the dinner theatre, I've seen her in a lot of things, but I can't think of her name. She's not like a famous actress, but she's someone that I've seen before. I can't think of her name. Anyway, I'm having a drink.
Will it come to you if you have a drink, Stephen?
I'll cut that out. I'll cut that out. Sure, I will. If I remember to, it'll be good. So yeah, with attacks coming from all sides, Celeste does what she does best and acts her way through her life until new fresh-faced star Laurie Craven has to kiss Jeffrey on screen.
Yeah.
As Vera said, probably one of the funnier moments. And I think the most physical I've ever seen Sally Field outside of Gidget. She launches herself. I think you can't kiss her. You can never kiss her. No! I kiss her when I want to. You can't kiss her because we're her parents. We're her mommy and her daddy. That's right. Celeste reveals to everyone that
I know
in the 70s, after their fourth date, she got pregnant and got
at Shakespeare in the Park.
Yes, at Shakespeare in the Park. All's well that ends well. All's well that ends well. And then Celeste, that's right, she got sent to a tuberculosis clinic in Tierra del Fuego on the show, as you do, to have Laurie. So she went away to have Laurie and gave her to her mother and created a sister.
Fictitious sister. Now,
everyone's like, as if that happens. It used to happen. Mm-hmm. It used to happen when people, especially like, the 60s, 70s, when unwed mothers got pregnant, sometimes they went away to visit family in the country.
Yeah. They're taking a semester in France.
Yeah. One really famous example of this is Jack Nicholson.
Yeah.
Jack Nicholson, the woman who he thought was his sister for a big chunk of his life, was actually his mommy. Mm-hmm. So for those just watching it with a modern eye, it used to happen. Okay? It used to happen. So all of this drama, you never know. Yeah, if you're in the States, you never know when we might need to take a visit.
Especially any of the states that banned abortion.
All of this drama, however, has played out on camera.
Yes.
And we can only assume that they used to go live, by the looks of it. It was a live taped soap opera, which again seems a bit weird for people, but that used to happen too. Live to air, live tapes, and they wouldn't hold on to the tapes. They would air it, shoot episodes, and air it, and it would go out. I have a DVD box set of the show Dark Shadows, the TV show. So it's got all the pre stuff. It's like Dark Shadows, episode 5, take 2, blah blah blah. Like it's got all of that stuff in it because it's the original negatives. So the idea of take after take after take wasn't really a thing because film was expensive back in the day. You got it right.
They would film straight to air. They wouldn't actually tape.
Yeah. You would get, and even if they did film, you wouldn't get multiple takes. You would have to deal with what was going on. Mm-hmm. And that's why I think back in the day, especially in America, theatre actors were soap stars earlier on. There's a lot of theatrical actors, like old theatre actors, that ended up in soap operas because they could do that,
right,
change on a dime kind of thing. Whereas predominantly TV actors, they are comfortable, especially film actors, they're comfortable with take after take after take. This is a rehearsal. This is that. This is that.
Right.
Again, that's something that doesn't happen anymore either. Live drama.
No.
Live drama does not happen. So there is an ultimatum given.
Even the shows that are filmed before a live studio audience are taped.
Aren't live, not live to air. Only on rare occasions, like I remember they do like a special episode of Will and Grace live, where it'd be like one a season as opposed to every episode.
Right.
Radio show. Sure. We have it so easy. So there's an ultimatum given by all three of the new, now leading cast members of The Sun Also Sets. It's them or me. And we get the genius plot device that the actors will find out their fate live on air. That is ratings gold. I mean, come on, if that were to happen today on a TV show, people would be tuning in. They'd be like, oh my God, what's going to happen?
Yeah. Oh, absolutely. I hope so-and-so's got to go.
Yeah, exactly. And I love how quickly Laurie's face is up in the hallway with everyone else's face. And she's like dominating the show straight away. They get the beach cafe, a beach restaurant scene where Kevin Kline is not wearing his glasses. I think that's
can't read it.
It's got a brand fluid, brake fluid, brain fever. Yes, brain fever. Or what we used to call coffin schlucken. The one thing he gets right. So it's decided we're going to get rid of Laurie. Laurie Craven's character will have brain fever. And her brain is going to explode in 3 hours. This is after the mute Laurie, who we don't have to pay if she doesn't speak, can suddenly speak again. And Montana is revealed as Celeste's mother. I love that the plot is as convoluted as the plot of a real soap opera. Like, that is just great.
Right.
There's so many. There's B plots, there's C plots, there's E plots, and they're all just like blopping around into some beautiful coincidence of amazingness. And it all culminates in the operation that we do not in a hospital. No. In the restaurant.
Chinese restaurant.
In the Chinese restaurant that's in the Caribbean on the beach. Okay, cool. As you do. So Sally Field decides that, she's been trying to make it up to both Laurie and Jeffrey because she's ruined 3 lives. 3 lives! I ruined 3 lives. Me, America's sweetheart. So many quotes in this movie. But she decides she will sacrifice her character in order for them both to stay on the show. But then Laurie, at the last minute, says, no, I can't do it. They have a happy,
a family moment.
Little family moment, and everything is resolved. Because in the background, there has been more drama. When Terry Hatcher's character finds out, Montana Moorhead has been getting her way with the producer, she's a bit betrayed. And then she thinks, because Montana feeds the story of being pregnant to Jeffrey, she's a little bit heartbroken. So she takes things into her own hands and recruits Whoopi Goldberg to come on to set. I love Sally's like, Rose, what are you doing here? All right, people, we've had the conversation before about we have to look at movies being products of the time that they were created.
Yes.
There are problematic moments in this movie. This is a problematic moment, but it's also a very funny moment. Montana Moorhead is revealed that she was once Milton Moorhead of Syosset, Long Island. So Montana has been holding her own plot secret. Back, David's watching all this unfold in the booth under shock, and everyone. Montana. I love
And
the last.
Jimmy is crying. And
Kathy faints. Kathy
Yes.
faints. Kathy is doing the work in the audience. Kathy faints at this point because it's too much. But I love the last you see of Montana. She's like, no, running out of like the soap opera ending of Soapdish is too brilliant, and I can't. It's just hilarious. So Celeste, we're at the end of the movie. Celeste, Jeffrey, and Laurie all win soap opera awards. And we find out the final fate of poor Milton Moorhead. He is now in Florida.
Willie Loman.
He is now in Florida doing his Willie Loman at the very best. And that is the whole, I'm sure we've missed things, but that is the
oh my God, it's a good movie.
Convoluted. Yeah. So what did you think, Vera? Now that we're at the end of the whole thing, and we can't spoil anything, what did you think?
I remember at the time it came out, I was dating a guy and we watched a lot of action adventures because that was his. And I, if I wanted to see a chick flick, I had to move away from him, and that wasn't what I wanted to do at the time. So I didn't really see it. And this was getting panned. It was getting a lot of bad press. And so I kind of had it in the background. I didn't think about it. And like I said, I was texting with my friend Peter, and I said, Peter, I'm about to watch this for a future show. And he said, oh my God, it's my favorite movie. And I'm like, well, I guess I need to see this, right? And it was so madcap, so farcical, so many moments. It was just running back and forth and running over each other. And like you said, the comic timing of Sally Field was amazing. I ruined 3 lives. I was just like, and then she would repeat it.
She's gone. Yeah. American sweetheart.
I thought it was brilliant. I thought it's a very underrated madcap comedy. Just along the lines of Mel Brooks and Spaceballs and High Anxiety and all these other great madcap comedies.
Very much so. I think it's ensemble comedy, which you don't see a lot of anymore. There's definitely comedies around, but it's always very central to one character. Whereas this is, I think it wouldn't work without the whole cast, and the whole cast being who they were. Like they were such a ragtag bunch of random people.
I don't think I've ever seen Kathy Moriarty in any other comedy.
She's usually like a femme fatale kind of it's like I enjoy her though. I think everyone
I thought she was great.
Everyone choose scenery in the biggest way possible.
Kathy Najimy from that tiny bit part, man, she owned it.
Right? Yeah, the tiny bit parts do amazingly well. Terry Hatcher does amazingly well. I was like, what do you do with these tiny parts that you get? Like, oh, okay, no worries. Yeah, I can't speak highly enough of this movie. It holds a very special place in my heart. I think it's a gay classic. I think the gays love it.
I think
the gays. So. I think it sits in every, especially like a certain subset of like, I guess we'll say anyone who was old enough / young enough to be influenced by that early 90s daytime TV gets it and gets it's so niche, but yet so wide ranging as well. Like you were either like I was, watching it at grandma's house, or you were addicted to it and watching it yourself and going, oh, yeah, I need to know what's going on with these people. But in true, like, soap dish fashion, storylines are strange. The show was actually workshopped as a musical.
Oh, really?
In 2010. In 2010. Had a stage reading with Kristen Chenoweth, John Stamos, and Jane Karowski in 2012.
Wow!
Yeah. So there's 26 there's reports that it was going to launch in London, but it's taken till 2020 for the musical to make its first public appearance at the Turbine Theatre as a workshop production in London. So it still hasn't hit the big way, the big time, but in the background, Soap Dish became a musical. Who knew?
Right. I think that would be a great musical.
But the plot also thickens as the sun also sets. Everything old is new again, right?
Right.
Right. On January 10th, 2022, it was announced a Soap Dish television series is being developed by Paramount Plus, with Whoopi Goldberg returning as Rose Schwartz.
Wow.
To, I guess, herald in a whole new generation of soap opera stars. And imagine if that got off the ground and you managed to get Elizabeth Shue to play essentially Sally Field's role. She would be the matriarch of that show now.
Mm-hmm.
And having to deal with a whole new generation of hungry wannabe famous actors. I'm sure that you could get Sally Field back. Like she is no stranger to TV. She picks her projects well, but there's the possibility that Soap Dish, might be back. And I thought it would make a great TV show. It would make great episodic TV, like The Office. It would be something that would be very niche, and the audience that love the movie and that love soaps would get it. But I'd be super interested to see if that takes off.
Well, the soaps are disappearing,
They are, but that makes us super interesting. Like, imagine the storylines that they would have to come up with to try and keep. For the storylines that they already have and that they've already used on The Sun Also Sets, I can only imagine what is happening, 30 years later on the set of that show. With Rose would have to be the head of the network and, making all the calls. But reboots are the thing.
Do you think Robert Downey Jr. would be the head of the network?
Well, he might have followed Milton. You never know.
You never know.
We'd have to find out all of these answers to the questions that, because it kind of, when the movie ends, it ends. It's not one of those ones where you get resolution for every character. It's just like, okay, we're leaving that story. Yeah, we're leaving that story. That's all that happens, which is interesting. So stay tuned for the next thrilling installment of The Sun Also Sets and possibly Soap Dish, I guess. I'm not even going to bury the lead. I think this movie is brilliant. If you haven't seen it and you enjoy,
it's worth watching.
Ensemble comedy, if you enjoy satire, if you enjoy
Netflix for $3.49.
Couple of dollars to rent. It was streaming on one of the channels here, but then I went to watch it and went, damn it. But you can rent it, and look, if you rent it, they might make the TV series. You never know.
Yeah, exactly.
You never know. Well, thank you for joining me, Vera, and getting thoroughly sudsy on Soap Dish. We'll be back again sometime soon, so pick up your popcorn, throw your trash out as you leave. But we'll be seeing you soon again in the cinema club. That's right. Assigned seating. Bye, guys. Have a great week.